Everyone wants to blame the thyroid. Low energy thyroid, can't lose weight thyroid, insomnia thyroid. And what's unfortunate is that many are not aware that the thyroid is the backup of everything and the master of none. In today's YouTube video, I'm going to be going over the exact steps and the exact biology anatomy of thyroid hormone. I'm going to give you a full masterclass on thyroid, everything you need to know, and then how you can solve your thyroid issues. Now, no matter if you're struggling with everyday fatigue, everyday low energy levels, weight loss resistance, or hypothyroid or hyperthyroidism, this video will be of help. Um, when we're looking at the thyroid, by the way, my name is Diego Reyes, functional health coach, functional nutritionist, owner of Complete Vitality Functional Health Coaching. We are a health coaching organization that helps men and women just like you get to the root cause of their health issues, lose the weight, and keep it off long term. All right, giving you what you want and giving you what you need. Okay, so um, our thyroid regulates every cell in our body. So specifically, you have a thyroid hormone called T3, and that's the hormone that speaks to every cell in your body. It makes it almost like jostle. Okay, so that's the main hormone we want. Now, there's inactive form, which is T4, and you'll get into all that. But when we're looking at it abroad here, there are studies out there that show that about 37 to 38% of people that take um, thyroid hormone actually don't need it. And so I just want to put that in the beginnings first because I want to show that most people that are struggling with thyroid issues, again, it is not their thyroid. The thyroid is the backup. So it is the warning side, the light signal. So I want you to think about this. When you're struggling with a thyroid issue, it's almost like your check engine light's on. And you don't know where it's coming from, but you know that something is wrong. Same with the thyroid. Okay, so let's start with it. So the most common symptoms of thyroid decline, thyroid issues, is fatigue, weight loss resistance, poor mood, depression, brain fog, and then there's more which we'll get into. But no matter what you're struggling with, most of the time you'd go see your doctor or your endocrinologist and you run a lab test. You'll get the lab test back, and primarily you'll probably just get a TSH and a T4, which we'll talk about is flawed, but they'll then prescribe you either levothyroxine, Synthroid, Thyroid MP, Cytomel, Armor, whatever that may be. They'll give you a thyroid medication without actually trying to correct the root cause, and we'll get into it later why that could be faulty and cause a lot of issues. So we went from a lot of people are actually not needing thyroid medication because some people are subclinical hypothyroid, meaning they are struggling with the symptoms and they're just given the hormone without adequate testing or diagnostic. So with that being said, there has been a strong correlation that people that have took thyroid hormone have actually dealt with more symptoms than not taking thyroid hormone because they don't actually need the medication. And so another thing is that if you're taking thyroid medication, it is not correcting the root cause. Okay, so that's why you still deal with thyroid symptoms even though you're on thyroid medication. And then the other thing is that this is important. About 60, 70, 80% of people that are struggling with hypothyroidism is actually dealing with an issue called Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune condition. That is when the immune system's attacking the thyroid gland. Okay, so this is all important. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so how can we actually treat thyroid dysfunction? Well, we need to look at the unique biochemistry of you. We have to look at your stress, your nutrient deficiencies, toxin exposure, gut health, because all these things contribute to thyroid regulation and thyroid health. Okay, so how does actually the thyroid work here now? So inside your brain, you have your hypothalamus, which then is TRH. Um, I like to just say thyroid releasing hormone. It signals to the pituitary gland, um, okay, to create TSH, so thyroid stimulating hormone. Now, there's actual names for this, but this is probably going to help you. So we have TRH from the hypothalamus signaling TSH to the pituitary, and then that TSH signal, which you know because you get tested for it, that TSH signal then goes to the thyroid gland. Okay, and what it does is it makes up about 95% of T4, and then 5% of it goes to T3. So majority of it, of your thyroid hormone, goes to T4, which is the inactive form. Okay, about 95% of that. Okay, but as stated before, there are many factors that affect thyroid hormone: food sensitivities or allergens to certain food, inflammation, toxins, infections, adrenal dysfunction, cortisol issues, high stress, oxidative stress, and changes in the gut bacteria. So all these things can contribute to the problem with your thyroid. So if you're dealing with food sensitivities, that's an inflammatory response, immunological response inside your body. Now remember, if you're struggling with hypothyroidism, you could be struggling with Hashimoto's, and then we could actually look at the root cause of your autoimmune condition, which can come from leaky gut or gut imbalances. Okay, so we got all these things that impact thyroid hormone. And so when we look at it, I think this would just be better. So as stated before, there are many factors that affect thyroid hormone: food sensitivities and allergens, all these things. So a lot of the times what I see inside my coaching is that it's stress, nutrient deficiencies, like adrenal dysfunction, you could say, with the stress, meaning that they've went through like stages of, adrenal fatigue, and then changes in the gut bacteria. Now, this is all important because when we stress out, when we do chronic stress from either undereating, emotional stress, or if it's chemical stress from toxins, this hinders the thyroid conversion from the inactive form T4 into T3 and then all other synthesis at the other receptor sites. Okay, so let's talk about selenium and iodine because many people are deficient in both of these minerals because we don't get enough in our diet because people are not actually using iodine salt, which is actually faulty. And then people aren't actually, eating really adequate amount of selenium. So why are these two minerals important? Well, iodine is important because T4 and T3 carry iodine atoms. So when the thyroid takes iodine from the bloodstream, so when you have iodine, the thyroid takes it from the bloodstream and converts it into the form of thyroid it needs at the moment. And so without enough iodine in your system, with being iodine deficient, you can actually get a goiter, meaning you have an enlargement of the thyroid gland, which actually is pretty common, unfortunately. And then you could also get hypothyroidism, underactive thyroid, because you're not actually having adequate hormone in your body. You have low T4 and low T3. Okay, why is selenium important? Selenium helps with the key enzyme called deiodinase, which is the enzyme that helps you with the conversion of the inactive form T4 into the active form T3. Um, and so without enough of the deiodinase without enough selenium, you can't activate that enzyme for you to have that proper conversion. The removal of the iodine from T4 into T3 can happen as well. And so when we think about it, like, how can we actually solve these thyroid issues? Because we were talked about like the gut plays a role, these nutrient deficiencies play a role, stress plays a role. So I think a big thing, and I actually know a big thing because I've helped a lot of people, this isn't medical advice, but I've helped a lot of individuals get off thyroid hormones safely with their primary care endocrinologists. Help them get off safely. And just from the start of it, it starts with pretty much your diet. So we need to follow an anti-inflammatory diet. Now, there are, a lot of, I'm not even calling this a fad diet, but there is a diet that could definitely help with this, and that's called the paleo diet. But there's actually another one called AIP diet, which is the autoimmune paleo diet. Okay, and why is this important? Well, just like the paleo diet that eliminates a lot of, obviously, foods that would affect the immune system and hormone health, the autoimmune specifically takes out other foods as well that helps calm the immune system down. Okay, and so this is important because a lot of people are actually struggling with Hashimoto's, and no matter what, if you're having high inflammation in your body, poor gut bacteria balance, food sensitivities, these things will all affect thyroid, no matter if you're struggling with autoimmune issue or not. All right, so it obviously eliminates various foods that trigger autoimmune responses and leaky gut. So the thing with the AIP diet is that we need to do a pretty much elimination phase, a reintroduction phase, and a maintenance phase. Now, this is something like I do with my clients as well. We have to eliminate the negative things that not only affect the gut microbiome, but we have to remove the things that negatively affect the thyroid and your other sex hormones or hormones, really, like estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, and then like insulin, melatonin, and things like that. So we have to have phases of it. The next thing is blood sugar balance. So if you are insulin resistant or you have poor insulin sensitivity, your glucose and things like that can't get into the cell, into the mitochondria. Which then happens then is that if it can't get inside the body for it to be used as energy, proper transportation can't happen, meaning you can't actually convert the inactive form of thyroid into the active form because the mitochondria is pretty much, you know, deficient, almost you could say. So blood sugar balance is important for thyroid health. Supporting micronutrients is the next thing. Making sure you have selenium, iodine, tyrosine, zinc, and vitamin A, the B vitamins, because all these things actually do play a role in thyroid hormone. What I will do is actually give you a link to a supplement to help with thyroid health that I like to use with my clients that actually really is helpful, which is called Thyroid Boost because it has glandular support in it. Glandular support means that it has actual thyroid coming from an animal. So it's natural. It's Ayurvedic medicine, like supports like glandular. Next thing is addressing your adrenal glands, aka stress response, meaning if you're dealing with an overproduction of stress hormone coming from the adrenal glands, that will hinder thyroid conversion. So making sure your lifestyle is in check on a stress standpoint, but then also making sure that you could be using adaptogenic herbs or minerals to help with lowering the adrenal glands stress response. Next is gut healing protocol, because we talked about how the gut influences thyroid hormone. How does it actually though? Well, when there's inflammation coming from our gut, like if we're dealing with leaky gut or even like SIBO, our gut produces something called lipopolysaccharides, which is called LPS, and that's inflammation going out of the gut into the bloodstream, which then causes, systemic inflammation, not just gut inflammation. But what this does is hinders the conversion of thyroid hormone and the creation of it. Lastly, is to support phase 1 and phase 2 of liver detoxification. Now, you'd want to do this because your liver plays a negative feedback loop with your thyroid. That means is that your thyroid supports your liver and your liver supports your thyroid. So it's like they go together. So, if you're struggling with thyroid issues, your liver could be involved, meaning because your thyroid hormone has conversion receptor sites of the thyroid. Now, this is just a quick and dirty of thyroid health, thyroid helping you heal, things like that. So, if you actually want to get to the root cause of your thyroid issues for good, heal for good, then check out my other YouTube videos because I've given out other trainings and things like that on thyroid health. And then, or you can check out my website to work with me, or you can check out my Instagram where I have tons of information on how to heal your thyroid and the tools and resources you may need because it's like a puzzle. But if you want to skip all that, lose the weight for good, heal, get to the root cause, then message me root cause today or check out my website and book a call. Thank you.